Hello. All right, cool. So I'm Valerie. I've got a program in Union City called East Bay Homeschool and a developing nonprofit organization, Full Circle Family, renamed to Full Circles Education. And I'm going to speak to you about deschooling. And the other presenters and the two presenters before me might not appreciate it because I might scare you, because deschooling is a phase that children go through once leaving the school system and have this newfound freedom. So I'm going to share with you, I got a slide of my kids in there. So I'm going to share with you some intimate details, and my heart is pounding because I'm nervous and I drank a lot of coffee. And I'm not a speaker, so I'm just going to try and share from the heart here. I just kind of need to know who I'm talking to. So, and from all the coffee, I'm thirsty too, so sorry. Okay, so if you are willing to raise your hand, if the question pertains to you, I need to know who's going to be raising their hand if I ask you a question. So if you're willing to participate, can you please raise your hand? Oh my goodness, almost all of you, thank you. Okay, if you have children only under the age of 5, please raise your hand. Okay? That light though. Okay, if you have children over the age of 5 and is enrolled in a school, please raise your hand. Oh boy, okay. If you have children and you are only homeschooling, please raise your hand. All right, all right. Okay, great, good. Good audience for me because most of you have kids in the school system. So I'm going to scare you a little bit. But you are well prepared from all these speakers and everything that you are hearing about, that there is hope on the other side after deschooling, okay? Okay, great. So, one second. All right, I've been watching so much stand-up comedy, I feel like I'm supposed to be telling jokes. Okay, all right. First, my mission, our mission, is to bring alternative forms of education to all major cities and counties, along with connecting like-minded families together and educating parents. And many of us are in that mission together, I would say. So far, my favorite quote is from Ken from North Star. He's gone, I guess, but he said, "It's okay not to go to school." Oh, that's nice, okay. I like that. But a lot of you have kids in school, so I'm going to talk about that. All right, so let me get my little clicker here. All right, here we go. All right, once upon a time, the school system was born. The school system was created. You think that this is done with, but it's not. This is the underlying form of education woven into your alternative school where your kids are. It's conformity. And I'm not here to bash the school system. When it started, it was very helpful because of this. Did it go to the factory? Okay, this is not school, just looks the same. Because it's a factory, okay? The Industrial Revolution brought the awareness that children needed to become a certain type of person to propel this Industrial Revolution. And I come from a preschool background, and so if I don't make sense or I make up words, just forgive me, okay? Just get the message. All right, so wonderful, right? Industrial Revolution, awesome, it worked. The kids went to school, they did their thing, they went to a factory and worked, okay, it's all good, right? But raise your hand, please, if you think, and I'm serious, if you think your child is going to graduate school and go to job like this. Anybody? No, because you're here. Okay, so you're learning. You want alternative education, or you want to learn about it. So yes, thank you. Nobody raised their hand. That's good. Because they're not. You are right. They are not going to go to work in a factory that looks like this. So why would your child, or should your child, be in a system that looks like this? It doesn't make sense, okay? Okay, so maybe I'm done here. Is that enough? All right. Okay. 1 second. All right. Okay. Yep. Okay. All right. So let me just dive in what deschooling is all about. Okay, it's my son, handsome young man, Jalen, and I have 2 boys, Jalen and Jacob. First of all, as a transitional kindergarten teacher, I was able to have this viewpoint that nobody else had. All these beautiful little creative geniuses, 3, 4, coming into my program, all excited, loving life, playing, okay, creative. And what the job of a transitional kindergartner is to get them to stop being like that and conform, okay? So you gotta sit in circle time and be quiet. You gotta raise your hand. You gotta know your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s. You gotta know your name and your address as if they're gonna sign documents anytime soon, okay? You gotta know all this stuff. And I'm a parent, I get it, we pride ourselves. My little junior, he knows the address, he even knows our zip code, okay? So you have to make all these kids learn all these things and behave a certain way. In addition, they need to get used to that bell ringing, okay? When lunch is over, it's over. If you're not hungry, it's your time to eat anyway. If you are hungry, it's not time to eat unless that bell has rung, okay? So I couldn't do it anymore. I could not do it anymore because what I would see is their lights just go out, okay? Their life, their zest. It was so heartbreaking. Simultaneously, my last year teaching, which was 3 years ago, my 2 kids, oh man, struggle. Okay, so I'll get to them in a second, because that's what's gonna help you most, I think. But I decided to quit, and the hardest thing about quitting was not taking all those kids with me. That was so hard, crying, because I know they're going off to kindergarten, where they're gonna have to do a bunch of stuff they don't wanna do, but they better listen, and their parents are gonna pride them. And the tricky part about what you see as parents is they always look happy and excited, okay? Because they are patted on the back a lot for things that they do. They get their stickers, they go to the treasure box, these little kids, and their name is on the wall for some sort of reward or award. So look, mommy, look, daddy, they're excited. So you think school is working for them. You think it's a good fit. Everybody's happy on parent education night. You know, you see their science display table. You think they're happy, okay? So that's the tricky part. I totally segued. I lost my train of thought. Okay. So it was heartbreaking for me because I wanted to take them all with me. So I left, and then I thought, well, now what? What am I going to do? I'm not going to get paid as a teacher anymore. So I opened East Bay Homeschool, replaced my income. I decided to homeschool my sons and homeschool other kids too, and see where that leads me. So now, let me share with you my kids, okay? Because if you bring your kids out of this system, it's not all strolling through the park, smelling flowers, excited, woo, free. I get to be all that West Beach talked about. I get to be all that I want to be, and I could just go and soar. No, what happens is they go through a detoxing period, okay? It's a little bit like depression, and if you know anything about depression and the first time you are depressed, you don't really know you're depressed until you're out of it. You don't really know you were depressed until it's been lifted. So deschooling is similar, that you don't really know your kids deschooled until they're out of it. And their lights are back on, and they're passionate, and they're connected to who they are. Okay, they've come full circle with who they are. Okay. Jalen was an A+ student, honor roll student. Okay, he was in 3rd grade, but he was repeating the 3rd grade. because I wanted the pressure off my kids. And we were moving, went to a private school, so I decided to have him repeat third grade to feel like, just to make it easier, okay? So he's repeating third grade, but still, ever since he was in preschool, went to Reggio Emilia preschool, went to a Catholic private school, went to Creative Arts Charter School in San Francisco, where I thought it was like the light at the end of the tunnel, and then private school here in the East Bay. Everybody loved Jalen. He followed directions, he got A+, his behavior was off the charts, he was the go-to person in the class, teachers loved Jalen. And I heard a few times, your child is just scholarship bound. Whatever university he wants to get into, he's so smart, intelligent. Okay. So I thought, okay, school's working for Jalen. It's gonna be okay for Jalen, right? Every few months, he would have very intense meltdowns, and he would blow up. One time, we're driving to school, he opens the door and tries to jump out. So he doesn't want to go to school. So every few months, it would just, all of a sudden, just this explosion. I'm like, wow, it's the pressure. He puts this pressure on himself. He's kind of a perfectionist. But here's the real problem. I saved my son's life, and I didn't know it until after he deschooled. I saved his life because Jalen could not hold a conversation. He could not articulate his emotions. He never smiled till he was 9.5. He did not smile. He would blow up and melt down. He had zero sense of humor, and it used to be funny. You have a dry sense of humor. He won't get that joke. No, he didn't even understand humor. What happened is his brain was clogged. He couldn't think for himself. He could only follow orders. And that was my concern during his last year in school. I thought, yeah, okay, university-bound scholarship, this, that, and the other thing, but what about the fact that he can't tell me how he feels? What about the fact that he doesn't make sense when he talks? So this whole time, I thought it was just normal. I would call him, he's shy, he's reserved, but he only held conversations with me, and it would stop when I started talking. He could not respond. He couldn't make sense. I wrote a blog about him, and I described a time where he was trying to explain something. It was a game he was playing, maybe Minecraft or something like that, and he was trying to tell me about levels. He couldn't make sense. He was like, well, I was on level 2, and then I wanted to go to level 3. Wait, but I was on level 2. So I wanted to go to level 3, and then there was this character. Wait, was there a character? No, then my time was up. I mean, oh my goodness, fall asleep listening to this kid after 30 seconds. He couldn't make sense. So finally, I started thinking, he's bound for success, but what about the fact that he can't think for himself? What's going to happen to him? Well, he's going to be like one of those factory workers. He's going to need to just be told what to do all the time. So I had a hunch that I should homeschool my son. The hunch was brilliant because when I decided to let them deschool, what happened was after a few months, he started to be the opposite. And I remember the day he had a conversation with me, and it was like, oh my gosh, you're not shy and reserved. You just didn't know who you were. You just couldn't express yourself. You couldn't think. Because we started having conversations. He started to laugh. He started to smile. He started to talk to other people for the first time. He never held a conversation with his dad. He never held a conversation with grandma. Nobody, just me. And those conversations were short because he would lose track what we're talking about. Hi, Arlene. So he started having conversations with me. So gradually, within 6 months, even up to now, his personality is developing. Oh, thanks. His personality is warm and inviting for the first time. And that's when I knew I saved my son's life. Okay, so now I'm going to scare you. So now I'm going to tell you about deschooling. But now you know it's worth it. I hope you know it's worth it. Here's what happened. I started to homeschool my kids, and I put them on all this curriculum and stuff and figured, okay, they're just going to do what they want anyway. And I'm really busy, and I don't want to be the parent telling them what to do all day, every day. I have 2 boys, very strong-willed. You haven't even heard about Jacob. I might not even show you a picture. Jacob's he was 5, he repeated kindergarten, got expelled. He's the opposite of Jalen, okay? Teachers were like, oh, no, Jacob's here today? So he's opposite. And my time's almost up, so you're going to have to message me or something if you want to hear about Jacob. So I decided to let go. Deschooling means you let go for a time. And I'm talking let go completely. I deschooled to the extreme. You're not going to like this. But for about 3 months, I let them do whatever they wanted. And what happened was they would wake up, get on their electronic games, and do this until they went to sleep at night. I'm serious. It was scary. Now, if you have ever detoxed or cleansed, I've done water cleanses, all that stuff. So if you've ever done a cleanse or a detox, or you know somebody who has, you're going to care for them. Okay, if somebody's in bed sweating every day, they're on water, they're doing whatever they need to do to get rid of toxins, you're gonna bring them food, you're gonna care for them, you're gonna be understanding, okay, because they're detoxing, they're shedding, okay, that was shedding. Okay, so I did the same for my kids. I fed them food, I cleaned up their dishes for them, I cleaned their room, I did a bunch of stuff that you would not want to do because we want our kids to be self-sufficient and all this good stuff. I understood somehow, I was researching it too, but somehow I just knew I was doing the right thing. So for literally 3 months, we barely made eye contact. They didn't make eye contact with each other. They were just sunken, you know, because I knew that their brain and their heart and everything knew better than me and them. And it was working itself out. The layers were shedding. Okay, so deschooling is a lot like detoxing. And if you're willing, if you're gonna pull your kids out of the school system and put them in something awesome that's presented here today or something else, good. Hopefully it won't be as bad as my deal with my 2 sons, and maybe deschooling doesn't have to be as intense. Okay, I have to say this because I don't want to scare you too bad. But you've got to be prepared for it. Because if your kids start to enter into a self-directed learning environment where they have all of a sudden a bunch of freedom, or you start homeschooling, you might be up against some unexpected behaviors. You might need a little help, okay? And I'm here to help you too. I do coaching or whatever. It was worth it, and it was scary, and I had to constantly tell my mom who lives with me and my husband, it's okay, they're gonna be okay. They're gonna be okay. So, and they were, and they're great. And I started to see them come out of their cocoon, and they started to talk to me, they started to make eye contact, they started to make their own food again, they started to clean up after themselves again. And in closing, because I know I gotta go, what happened was so fascinating for me to watch, because they both kind of became the opposite of what they were when they were in schooling. So I told you about Jalen, all academics, right? He's very intellectual. He started to get in touch with his emotions, talk about his emotions. He started to smile, he started to laugh, he started to understand jokes and humor. And I don't know if you can tell, that's important to me. So we're having fun now. We never had fun. We're having fun now. So Jacob, who was the opposite, he never ever did a math problem. You would sit this child down and say, you know, trace this letter or whatever in kindergarten and preschool. Do this ditto, or, you know, who has an answer for this, doing presentations. Never, ever, ever would he write anything down or be interested in anything the teachers were telling him to do or asking him to do. So what happened for Jacob, he was playing Minecraft, and when he started to break out and flap his wings, it's a new butterfly, he started getting interested in academics. He loves math, loves it. He loves science. He loves figuring stuff out, loves reading and comprehension. He loves understanding big words. He's got an incredible vocabulary. And he's turning 9 in a couple of weeks. Advanced comprehension. So interesting, right? You let go, and who they are comes forth. Okay? So, show you. I will show you pictures. Let's see what else I got here. That's us. First day of private school, kindergarten, third grade. So happy, so excited. Yeah, but there's Jacob. Opposite of Jalen, not shy. So I didn't bring him. He wouldn't let me be up here. He'd be up here. He'd grab the microphone from me. Okay, so that's all I got for you. I don't have a closing statement, so I need David to come up here. Thank you so much. Since David's not taking the microphone, is there any burning questions? Otherwise, I just want to pass this on to the next speaker. Yes, ma'am.
So you let them detox for 3 months. How did you transition into schooling or whatever else?
Yeah. So the 3 months was really the intense, eyes sunken, no eye contact. And then slowly, I would say for the next 3 months, it was like coming out of detox slowly. And it was first just taking their cues. Interested in math, you're interested in that, and let's do a little bit more. So it was very gradual, me giving ideas what we can do and study in our schooling time. And then I've gone in and out of curriculum here and there. I just follow their lead. So right now they're unschooling, which means I have not set before them a specific structure or curriculum for them to follow. Okay, so does that answer your question? Is that helpful? And we can talk more. You can find me on Full Circle Family Facebook group, or I can give you my business card when I'm out here too, and we can talk more. Okay, thanks for asking the question. Thanks, David. Yep, I'm done.
If there's one more question for Valerie you'd like to ask, we're happy to take one. We got to burn a little bit of time, about 60 seconds worth of time. So any other questions from parents, educators in the audience you'd like to ask Valerie? I wanted to thank you saying deschooling is like detoxing. That is a quote, Facebook Live. If you can get that part, your body's trying to get rid of the toxins, and compulsory curriculum and attendance, so unnatural, so unhealthy. So that was one of the takeaways I got. I was running around. Apologize there. So thank you for doing this. One question real fast here. Oh, excuse me. Heather. Let's dance. We're doing bumper cars.
I just wanted to comment that it was incredible sharing their journey and your heart in trying to get in touch with the kid. Heartbreaking, actually. So you're doing a great service. Seriously. Radical, because I'm a retired teacher and I've watched the lights go out, and I say something's not working, so tremendous. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you, David. This room's gonna be packed.
Valerie Jaeger, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.